How you doing? This is Black Shy Guy here. Welcome back to another podcast episode, and we are diving in to the situation that happened between Rollo, Destiny, and Sneako. I don't know if that's even Sneako because he seems to have a whole bunch of characters. I mean, now he's showing a religious side to him that I have never seen before, but it is what it is. Make sure you get your drink. I know I've been gone for a while, okay? I've been gone for a while, but listen, I needed that break, okay? I needed that break. Now I'm back. My podcast is firing up. Get that drink, and as always, thank you for sitting at my table. Let's dive in as we take and bear witness to the two, I don't know. Are they Jedis against the Sith Lord? Because Rollo is considered the godfather of the red pill manosphere. So let's dive in.
Okay. So let me explain a few things here. I wasn't able to do this the last time you guys were talking about this, but so about gosh, is it now 2 weeks ago? I think it was Tuesday of last week. You guys had Brandon Carter on. Is that with Derek Moneyberg? Or was that Monday?
Monday.
Monday. Sorry, let me get my camera back up there. So Monday, you guys were talking to Brandon Carter. One of the things that Brandon was talking about was you got to love money. You got to be on top of your game. And and I love Brandon Carter, by the way. I think he should be a stand-up comedian. I mean, the guy is that funny. He's a great guy, right? But when you guys are on that show and you're talking to him, and he's talking about how he doesn't go to he doesn't go to Publix, doesn't go grocery shopping for himself, he doesn't go do his own laundry, he doesn't have a car.
Why does this have what does any of this have to do with what he tweeted out? Because what he tweeted out was very weird. What he tweeted out to become a high-level man, which everybody's complaining about. Let me cut to the nitty-gritty. Let me cut to the meat and potatoes of the whole situation that's going on between Sneako, Destiny, and Rollo. The fact that he stated that you need to get a vasectomy to reach your goal and becoming a high-value man is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. I don't get the fact that you need to get a vasectomy to become a high-level man. How about controlling yourself? How about not ejaculating in every woman that you meet? How about not banging every woman that you meet? How about that? But anyway, let's dive in.
I mean, it's Brickle White, but he doesn't have like some basic stuff, because his philosophy in life is that anything that takes him away from his grind, anything that takes him away from anything that would distract him or that would be financially or mathematically not a pragmatic choice for him to make, as far as like if he's spending time going grocery shopping or going and getting food for himself or whatever else. I'm sure he's like into meal prep and everything else, but pretty much everything in his life is outsourced, because anything that he would be spending that time himself to go do, he could be losing money doing that at that time. So when I was listening to this, and I was thinking about this myself, because I was actually at the same time, I'm like, helping a friend move and all this. And I'm thinking about this. I'm going, you know what? If you want to be a high value man, if you want to get to that apex level as fast as you can, that's it. How is that not the best way to go about it? Okay. So the point of that whole tweet, which was basically a throwaway tweet that everyone started like snowballing into something else. I've got Ben Shapiro coming at me. I got Matt Walsh coming at me. I got Lauren Chen coming at me. I got all these people off of Daily Wire, because it was just easy, low hanging fruit for these guys, because they think that's what the fucking manosphere is all about. And it's not. Okay. That was not fucking advice. Everything that is on Twitter is not advice. Okay.
Was that a joke?
No, it was not necessarily a joke, but it's like, let's just say it's a hypothetical, okay? It's showing you. Now, listen, fuck up for just fucking 5 seconds, okay? This is no fucking joke here, because everything that's come out of both of you guys' mouth.
Now, is he the rational male or is he an irrational male? Like, you can't have a discussion with two younger people, you being the older gentleman, and you stating that you're the rational male, and you already wilding out. I mean, Rollo, you gotta maintain your composure, man. You can't already in the beginning of the whole conversation be wilding out already. You can't be acting this way. This is just the wrong way to go. You can't all of a sudden be triggered by the first statement issued by these two. You can't. It just makes you look bad. It makes you seem like you have no control. When you're already stating in that tweet that you're trying to preach about is all about control and maintaining some type of level of discipline. And you're not showing any of that. And it's just the beginning of the whole conversation. I mean, let's continue.
Has been nothing but distraction and misdirection because it's easy fucking clicks for you. So here's the whole thing. When I'm talking about get a vasectomy, don't be concerned with.
I like when he's mad, his glasses get uneven on his nose. You see?
Yeah, let him finish.
Okay.
I'm really mad about this, bro.
Shall we keep going? Are we just gonna have jokes thrown in here?
Really heated about this.
Is that what I get to? Is that what I get to do it? Okay. So here's the deal. When I'm talking about this, when I'm throwing this out there, why wouldn't you do that? Would you not have been more successful, Sneako, had you not had to go through certain things? If you had a kid right now,
advice or not?
You would be playing the game with a handicap. You would be playing the game with your fucking hands tied behind your back.
Okay, so
Rollo, there are guys right now who I have a lot of respect for, and I'm sure you have a lot of respect for as well, who all have kids, but you know what they try to do? Try to keep it under wraps.
Okay,
try
so
to make sure nobody knows about the fucking kids. Okay.
What is advice?
So here's okay. First off, this is not fucking advice. Everything that is on my show or is on Twitter is not automatically advice. Now, here's
is the tweet advice, Rollo? Answer the question. Is the tweet advice? Is what we want to know. Jesus, just answer the question. Is it advice or not? Because you're saying that it's not advice, but you're stating to Sneako that what you tweeted would have been the utmost potential in achieving a high value man status, right? So is it advice or not?
Here's the thing. You know what you're gonna say, because here's the deal. When I was on whatever podcast I was telling this, I was saying exactly the same thing here, is that everything that comes out of somebody's mouth on Instagram or on Twitter or on a YouTube, there's no way you can't go on there without somebody going, this is what these guys are saying to do. Because if you have this set automatically, that if it comes out of your mouth, it's automatically advice, it can't just be data. It can't just be statistics. It can't be, nothing can be just delivered sort of like, here's some data for you to look at. Okay. Nothing can be set. Nothing can be given to you without somebody going, well, the reason why you're telling me this is because you're telling me that this is the best way to live my life. Okay. So when I'm watching Brendan Carter and I'm watching all this going on, and I'm looking at like guys that I know and guys that you know as well. And when these are the guys who are like saying, you know, be on your game, do this, do that. They're the ones that are giving this advice. All I'm doing is saying, hey, look, maybe you should not focus on family. Maybe you should not get married. I mean, I don't know why that's big.
It's maybe advice.
I'm not saying it's advice. What I'm saying is that this is go over the fucking
that what he's saying makes no sense. So if it's not advice, if it's not a set goal, why utter it in the first place? So that means it's basically an option for men to witness and say, well, I'm not going that route because it's not advice. Like, Rollo, you make no sense right now.
In top that everybody wants to take it out of context, which is exactly what you guys have been doing.
So what is it? Can you tell me what that tweet was if it wasn't advice?
It's not advice. What it is it's saying that this is the most extreme way to do things. Okay, here's the quickest path to.
If it's the most extreme way to do things, it's still an advice. Wouldn't you want to achieve your goal and do it in the utmost? So if he's saying that's the utmost possible way to achieving your goal, then everybody who sees that tweet is going to take it as an advice. Like, am I wrong here? Like, it makes no sense what Rollo is saying. Makes no sense.
If I told you this, look, if I said the quickest way for you to make $1 million,
that sounds like advice.
is to go.
It does, because witness it. Do not get married. Avoid family creation. Vasectomy in your 20s. Live consistently. Eliminate all sedations. Learn, game, and networking. Play to your strengths. Build wealth. Resist easing up on your focus. So you're telling me none of that is advice? What is it then? What is it? Even if you're stating that it's just one of the possible ways to achieve your goal, it's still advice. You're not standing on the very ground that you supposedly are walking on. You're backtracking now because everybody's attacking you. It just doesn't make any sense.
Go steal it from the bank or go to steal it. Does that mean I'm telling you to go steal it? If I tell you to go fucking jump off a cliff, are you going to go jump off a cliff?
Right,
I'm also, by the way, here's the other thing is I'm also responding to Dr. Richard Reeves in this as well.
Okay, there's a lot of context about it, sure. But all the rest of the lists, you're equating vasectomy to lifting, game, play to your strength, resisting up on easing your focus. The rest of it sounds like general advice.
Okay, well let's say so let me ask you. So is it the vasectomy part that's throwing you off?
Sneako right.
Genuine good advice, right? The rest of it.
Is it the vasectomy part?
Yeah,
the vasectomy part. Do you agree with pretty much everything else except for the vasectomy part?
Yeah, the first three is weird because then I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family? Why be that rich? The guy who's always grinding. Whoa, Brandon Carter doesn't have to do his laundry. Sick. What else are you going to do with your life?
Right. Maybe this is actually meant so that you'll get it. You'll have a freaking epiphany about how all the shit that you have to sacrifice to get to that in the first place. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to live the kind of life, let's say like a Brandon Carter is, where you're going to outsource your entire life? Or are you going to actually have kids?
You don't need to get a vasectomy to achieve the high value man status. You don't need to do that. Do not even think about doing that, gentlemen. Do not even think about it. Once again, I'm just stating my opinion. You just got to have self-control. You got to have self-control. Every woman you meet, you don't need to release in them to risk the possibility of pregnancy. Wrap it up. Get a condom every time. Get a condom. It's not that hard. If there's a woman that could potentially be a good wife and you see promise in her, and both of you agree not to use a condom, then so be it, because you know for a fact that she is a great potential mom to the baby you may have with her. Have some self-control. Simple as that. You don't need to get a vasectomy and limit your potential to get a kid later in the future. You're risking that. Because if you want a kid later in the future, now that possibility is low. I don't get it.
Is that something that's a priority for you? Because I will tell you right now that if you follow this if you were to actually follow this list right here, that is the fastest way for you to get to a point where you are more high value, right? But here's the thing. So when I say that, people go, well, that's not what a high value man is. A high value man is what I define it as, which is he's got to have a good, loving, devoted wife. He's got to have 3 or 4 kids or 10 kids, depending on whatever culture you're talking about. All of this stuff that makes up whatever that person who happens to have that is, then that's suddenly the definition of what a high value man is. So what I'm saying this is the best way to become a high value man. I'm not saying this is the only way to become a high value man. I'm just saying that this is the fastest way to go and do something like that.
We've been talking a lot for 5 minutes. What is your definition of a high value man?
It doesn't matter. That's not what I was talking about in this.
It doesn't matter.
Isn't it what you're talking about? That's what the first part of the tweet is: how to become a high value man.
The fastest way to become a high value man is to recognize the fact that you've got sacrifices to make. Okay.
It's like what is that? Telling like stories from Vietnam. Like, just say, what is a high value man? It's the first part of the tweet. What does that mean?
You tell me what a high value man is. Because here's the thing: is it doesn't matter what I'm going to say is a high value man. You guys are fucking
because it's your fucking tweet.
It doesn't matter what I say is a fucking high value man because everybody takes this. The point of the fucking tweet is that everybody is going to take this and then insert their own definition of what a fucking high value man is.
What if a high value
That's
man
the
is
bait.
having 12 kids when you're 16? Then your tweet doesn't work, does it? What if your definition of a high value man is being getting into a trade and having 5 kids by the time you're 22? Then it also definition of a high value man is being an esports professional.
You're absolutely making my point for me right here. Okay, this is what I'm saying.
My point is that high.
I'm gonna jump into what Destiny's and Destiny is right, but in a way, Rollo is basically saying that that tweet can basically be used by anyone because everybody's gonna have their own opinion of what a high value man is. That's obviously definitive. So everybody could take that tweet and take the positive out of it, I guess, because obviously one of the positives that supposedly Rollo thinks is a positive is not a positive. But Rollo is basically stating you can take that tweet and apply it to yourself because it's multi-useful to anybody who basically sees a high value man in their perspective, if that makes sense. Like my definition of a high value man is going to be different than your definition of a high value man. So Rollo basically saying that he tweeted that so it can basically fit both of our ideals of what a high value man is. Destiny stated that somebody's high value man can be a great skateboarder. Your high value man is a pastor with a family, etc. So he's saying that tweet can be used to achieve any of those levels of what a high value man is, which makes sense. Which does make sense. I give Rollo that. It does make sense.
Value man. You gave a list of 8 things. Do these 8 things to become a high value man. Do 1 through 8 to become A. And you're not defining what A is.
The fastest way to becoming a high value man is these things.
What is that?
Okay. So here's the thing. So if we're talking about family creation, we already talked. Okay, so you want to go? Okay, let's go one by one. You want to go one by one? Okay,
no,
so
I want to go before one by one. What is a high value man?
We can't have an argument if I don't even know what your definition
is. The very fact that you're even asking this in the first place is the actual point of the fucking tweet. Okay, so if you're going to be a high value man with the fucking hands tied behind your back, then what is that? What does that mean to you? That's the point. This whole discussion is the point of the fucking tweet. You guys,
one of the tweet was, you've got some conception of a high value man. Here are 8 points that you think you need to do to get to it. And now you're getting blown the fuck up on the vasectomy thing, which you probably realize is fucking retarded, but you're too old and stubborn to walk back from it. That's the point of this conversation.
I'm not too stubborn to fucking walk back from it because the point of it was to get douche nozzles like yourself to fucking have this conversation in the first place.
How old are you, bro? Douche nozzles?
Yes. You guys are fucking idiots. Why you guys come in here from fucking Twitch strap? Like, how you guys are legitimate in all of this? I don't know, because everything I've heard come out of you guys' mouth is just fucking confident ignorance.
This is the thing about what Rollo is doing to himself right now while he's having this debate with Destiny and Sneako. You're allowing these 2 young guys to get you out of character. You're allowing these guys to get you to a point that basically undermines and contradicts your very name, which is the rational male. Let's not get into the name calling, because when they start with their name calling, because you know how Sneako and Destiny is, you know their character. So if they start with the jokey and the name callings and all of that, you can't get on them. Because you started off with the name calling right off the rip when you came onto the podcast. And now you're continuing it once again. So when they start with their freaking kiddie-ish attitudes and their immature outtakes, you can't complain about it. Because you was irrational towards them from the get-go.
No, Myron. Okay, I'm not asking you like in terms of the debate. You call yourself the godfather of the red pill. You
call myself the godfather of the manosphere, okay? Other people have called me that.
Okay, great. That's very.
Do you understand?
Okay, so as
godfather or grandfather of the man, which one is it?
Whatever it is, the old guy of the manosphere. What is your definition of high value man? This is the #1 talked about topic on all of these shows. So I want to get a clear definition from you.
Before we continue, right? Everybody has a different perspective of what a high value man is. If you ask any man out in the street and stop them and ask them, what is a high value man? I bet you 9 out of 10, if you ask 10 males, nearly 8 or 9 of them is going to have a different version of what a high value man is. Nobody's going to have the same characteristics of what a high value man is. It's illogical to say so that they will. So for them to ask Rollo what a high value man is, I don't know. And this is my opinion once again. I don't know. It does make sense in why Rollo won't answer the question of what a high value man is. But Rollo has to state it. What's the point in me saying what a high value man is when it's going to be my definition, my version of what a high value man is? Because obviously what my perspective of what a high value man is not going to be the same as yours. You have to take that tweet that I tweeted and apply it to you, to what your version of a high value man is. But Rollo won't state it that way, so he's caught in a corner because he won't answer it in any type of way. And they know that, so they're attacking him. And Rollo has no ammunition for it because he just gets triggered. And they know he gets triggered off of that question, so they're going to continue it. They're going to continue it until he answers the question. Let's continue.
What is it?
You tell again. It depends on the person. It depends on the culture. Depends on the. So here's the thing. Let me tell you, maybe I can explain this to you, Sneako, because at least you got your ears open here. The thing is that when we're talking about what's the top G, what's a high value guy, you probably haven't heard this because you don't read my stuff and you don't watch my shit. No. But I've also said this is like the red pill has to be for everybody, or it's for nobody. So if we're looking at a guy who's draped across a Lamborghini and he's got hot chicks with him, and we say that's what I'm aspiring to, but I'll never make that because I live in a fucking fishing village on the coast of Chile, right? That means I can never match that high apex of a high value guy.
The guy in the car?
But the guy who happens to live in those villages or happens to be in a different culture or in a different country or whatever else, he can still benefit from that because however he's defining himself as a high value man in his fishing village, maybe that's what he can aspire to.
This has nothing to do with Chile and the village in the car.
Here's the thing: is you guys want me to say, okay, a high value man makes $100,000 a year. He's fucked 50 chicks. He's got that's the thing.
That's not what I want you to say. I disagree with that. I'm asking you because I come on this all the time.
Disagree with it. What I'm saying is the point of the tweet is so you will ask that question.
I'm past the tweet. I'm past that. Look, I'm asking as somebody who's really interested in the red pill. I listen to a lot of this content. I want to know what your definition is because if you have
okay, now Sneako worded it correctly. Now Sneako is making much more sense. Because now Sneako is saying, I want to hear your definition of what a high value man is. Because obviously mine is different. I want to hear your definition. Now it is up to Rollo, the rational male, to state what his definition of what a high value man is. Sneako put him in a corner right now. Smart move, Sneako. Smart move.
A definition that's completely off of what I think it is, then I guess I'm not red pill.
Well, here's what I think guys ought to do. Would you like me to give you some prescriptions? Is that what we're trying for here?
No, I want to know your opinion of a high value man. What is it?
I think a high value man is whatever is contextually makes that guy a high value guy in whatever culture that he happens to be in. If that's money, that's money. Right now, that's what we tend to focus on right now. But if I'm going to say that,
man is a guy that has the things that makes him a high value man.
All right,
That's
the things that make you a high value man. Okay, what is that? You know, we've been trying to. We're never going to define it.
We just kind of because here's the thing. When I read the tweet, I interpreted it right with a higher step. Like he's listing things that if you follow these things, right, and you actually follow them, you're probably not going to become a fuck up, right? And to be a high value guy, I would say it's a combination of things. It's obviously having your money on point, having social proof and status, having respect from your peers, having a network of other high value men, right? Which I agree with Kevin Samuels on that. Being fit to a degree. If you have all these things in place, you'll be considered a high value man by most people in most societies, right? If you have these things in place. Now, with that said, to get there, right, you obviously have to focus and get your shit together and make sure that you focus on getting there. What he's saying is all these, the list of things that he mentioned, if you follow them, it's going to mitigate your risk of becoming a fuck up and not getting to that point as quickly as possible. And I think that's so important is that this tweet kind of gets taken out of context. He's saying the quickest way to become a high value man, avoid and do these things because you're limiting distractions. And he's using Brandon Carter as an example where he's in a monogamous relationship with a girl. He outsourced a lot of his things. Why? So he's able to focus on making more money.
Myron, I hate to disrupt him right here because Myron is making sense except for one take that he's not understanding. You don't need a vasectomy to reach that goal. You just have to have self-control. And if you're applying discipline and self-control to every other aspect of becoming a high-value man, whether it's going to the gym, staying committed to your work so you can reach your wealth and be successful, to everything else, except when it comes to dealing with ladies, when it comes to dealing with a woman, all of a sudden now you don't have self-control. That you have to come to the realization of getting a vasectomy. That makes no sense because why can't you have self-control and discipline in that area when you have it in every other area? Doesn't make any sense. Myron, come on now. We love you. We love you, Myron, because you're always straight to the point and you're very direct. But now you're tiptoeing because I don't know, maybe your friendship with Rollo means a lot, but having your own opinion, even though it goes against the grain, shouldn't bother a rational male. Y'all like that, right? Y'all like how I put it.
Money. He's getting rid of obstacles. And I think that tweet demonstrates that.
Yes.
You're getting rid of obstacles so you can become a high value man in the quickest possible way. Now, I know the most controversial one is the vasectomy. Though there's other ways to get the same, I guess, effect from vasectomy. Let's say you use a condom. Let's say you pull out, whatever it may be. He's saying, okay, if you get the vasectomy, then we know for a fact you're not going to have children. It's really no different than having a condom or pulling out or whatever it may be. The point is to not get a girl pregnant. How you want to get there is up to you, whether it's through a vasectomy, using condoms, whatever. But he's making it retard proof. Hey, vasectomy, because I know even if you are the dumbest guy ever, you can't fuck this up.
I don't think a retarded guy could be a high value guy.
No, when I say retarded, I mean as in stupid. But what I'm saying is that the point I'm trying to make is this list is the foolproof way, if everything is followed, for you to get your status up as quickly as possible in your 20s.
That's not what the list is, though. Because what you just said was advice, and he said it's clearly not advice. So you're interpreting it different.
He said
way.
he's joking, and he's trying to provoke
joking.
people.
Like half of it was just for jokes.
But I'm telling you, I started out telling you guys how I interpreted that.
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
He's saying you're not wrong.
Right here.
You're not wrong.
So that people can interpret it how they want,
Exactly.
which create discussion. That's the point.
Ain't it funny?
That's what he's saying.
He asked a question earlier. So you asked him a question, what is high value? You answered it. It's whatever you determine that to be.
No, that's bullshit. None of you guys believe that.
If
some guy comes on this show and he weighs 350 pounds and he says, I'm Diamond 1 in League of Legends. That's what I want to do with my life. Would you go, well, if that's what you really want, you're high value. You wouldn't say that.
No, but once again, it starts in the mind. You're going to say, for example, oh, that's not true, which I agree is not true. But ultimately, you as a man decide what's high value for you.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Value is probably something that's determined by society. High value means that you have a worth to other people. You're just talking about being comfortable, having high self-esteem.
I agree, but the tweet...
You don't say you agree with me. I just said the total opposite thing you just said.
No. I agree at that point where, for example, people determine you as high value. However, the tweet saying high value could mean in your sense whatever that means to you.
No, it doesn't.
What?
That's what he's saying.
No, he's not. He doesn't know because he doesn't have a good definition. Because he knows if he says anything, he's gonna get
You
pinned
sound
down
like
on
the
it.
girls who believe they're a 10 because they
Yeah.
describe themselves as a 10 in the mirror.
If you brought
That's
in
the
some
same
You're
loser.
missing the point.
and he's like, I'm high value because I'm a manager at my McDonald's, you probably wouldn't
The
agree that he's high
point
value.
is that when he says high value, you're going to determine that as a man. What does that mean for you? Success is a part of it, yes, but their success could be owning a farm or having a business. It doesn't matter. He's saying to get to that point, you need focus. Ultimately, that's what he's saying. Just be focused.
I mean, look, we
Eliminate
make fun of the girls
distractions.
all the time for
Eliminate
saying that they're 10 out of 10s. All the time because they say it in their head, I believe I'm a 10 out of 10. No, that's ridiculous because society determines how attractive you are. Society determines how valuable you are. You can't apply that lot. You can't make fun of the girl, the ugly fat whale who thinks she's a 10 girl boss queen, and then also say a high value man can believe it in his head.
Well, I gave you guys a.
I don't know who this man is. I really don't know who Sneako is right now, but he's making so much sense because he just deplatformed their whole freaking. He just obliterated it right there. He just obliterated. He just demolished. I mean, I'm impressed by Sneako right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm impressed by him. I am utterly impressed by him because Sneako is cutting right down the middle. He's a freaking line. He's a running back right now. He's a running back right now, taking the draw from the quarterback. See, Destiny is doing a sweep right. Sneako is taking the draw and cutting it right down the middle, right through the defense. Sneako, big up, young man. If this is the new you and you're maturing, because we all know your past, and your past is crazy. I'm not going to lie. Your past is kind of crazy. But I do give you props. If you're actually maturing and you're following your religion, and this is not some way just to grow your platform and get money, some sneaky, diabolical way. If this is really the true you and you're maturing, you're taking the religious status seriously, because you could be lying. But I can't prove that, so I got to go with the fact that you're telling the truth. Big up to you, young man.
You have a good definition. You talked about some shit, being relatively fit, having a network of people that are very social. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that sounds like
I do, because here's the thing. For me, I will define it because that will allow you guys to see where I'm coming from when I'm interpreting the information.
We know where you're coming from, but we have the tweet author here. He doesn't know where he's coming from. He seems a little lost right now, so we're trying to figure out, what exactly he means. But
I think, again, the tweet, I think that's the important part of the tweet is that it allows people to interpret it how they want, and which is why we're talking about it right now. The tweet did what it was supposed to do. Why would you? If I'm giving advice to people, I don't want them to interpret it how they want. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point of my message? If I'm telling
not giving advice to people, that's the whole point of this. Do you want? It's like impossible to It's impossible to put anything out there without people interpreting it as follow these fucking steps. Here's your 12 rules for life, and you're going to live a happy fucking life.
Being a high value man. That's literally what your tweet was. Do these things. High value. What is the wording of the tweet? Go back to the tweet itself.
So here's in that wording of the tweet. What's the last part of that? What's the last one? Resist easing up on your focus. Whatever's like, do you want me to insert what you ought to be doing? You ought to be coding. Is that what I should say? You ought to be becoming a professional athlete. I don't know what your fucking strengths are.
You can simplify, say work hard.
Again, here's the thing. If I say, you know what, you ought to be an NBA player. And it doesn't matter if that you're 5'9", fucking stay on your focus and you're going to be the best NBA player you can possibly be.
No, that'd be terrible advice.
That would be absolutely terrible advice because this isn't fucking advice. That's why. Okay, this is a list that is meant to get so you get an idea of what the fuck it is that you're going to do so that you can become that high value man. Protect yourself. Don't get married. Avoid family creation. That's second. Again, this is over the top shit. Anybody who knows anything about my material, when I throw this out there, they know this is over the top shit.
What else on that list?
Feeds the fucking fire for douche nozzles like
Shapiro. I don't want to be a douche nozzle, but what else?
Yeah, besides number 3, what else here is over the top?
Besides vasectomy.
Well, live consistently, okay? Well, what if, some people will say, well, that's vanity, right?
Myron, there's no way you agree with that, saying live consistently.
Hold on. For Rollo, it might be. Okay, to be fair. Okay?
Guys, see, here's the thing.
But you're missing, are you not hearing anything he's saying? Do you need to blindly agree with him? Because nothing he's saying is making any sense.
It's not making any sense to you because you don't understand the fucking concept of the
I have to admit, I hate I do like Rollo. I do like him. I'm not gonna lie, but he's not making any sense. And when I say he's not making any sense, is once again the part where he says it's not advice. What is it then? What is it? It's a tweet that you stated that you want every man who follows the manosphere to take and apply it to their own version of what a high value man is. Apply it to themselves. Run away with it as a starting guide to their journey, right? But at the same time, you're saying it's not advice. What is it then? I'm so confused, Rollo. I don't know where you make no sense.
Tweet. That's why.
You can't even
Did
thoroughly
you understand what I? Okay, let me hold stop here. Did you understand what I was saying about Brandon Carter?
Yeah, he doesn't do his laundry.
No, but he's taken everything to this extreme level. It's like to a lot of guys, Brandon
has
Carter's
a
not a
kid.
okay, would you agree with me that Brandon Carter is a high value guy?
Sure.
Okay. You know who wouldn't? Ben Shapiro. You know who wouldn't? A lot of other people because they think that they're living out their own high value ideal. Do you understand that?
Context.
Like the 350-pound esports player who's
No.
living out his ideal of a high value man.
Yeah, whether or not that's working for him is irrelevant to the fucking tweet. When I say, okay, when I'm talking about Brandon Carter, you say you understand that. He's taking it to like this extreme level.
How is Ben
Just
Shapiro not a high value guy?
Like stay on top of it. Like his for Brandon Carter, what do you think Brandon Carter's definition of a high value man is?
Probably the same as mine.
Which
How
is
you determined by society. If you have respect from your community, then you are a high value person. If people respect you.
so
Not everybody's going to respect you. There's always going to be a hater. There's always going to be the naysayer. So I don't consider that part of high value man because there's always going to be a naysayer. There's always going to be people that disrespect you. I mean, look at DeSantis. I think he's a gentleman, but look how many people hate him. Look how many people don't like his political views. It's just, I mean, that's a wishy-washy statement right there because that once again proves that every person's version of a high value man is different. So I don't think, to me, in my opinion, a high value man is someone that everyone respects. Look at Jesus, the Lord Savior himself. Look how righteous he was. He still had naysayers. He still had people that wanted him dead. I hate to bring it to the religious aspect of it all, but it is what it is. That's my nature. I mean, I really don't think you can apply that to what a high value man is. Of course, in my opinion, I don't think you could apply it there. I don't think so. Let's continue.
So being pro-social and having people like you and depending on the
I know you don't agree with him because he's Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro is definitely a high value man.
okay, but okay, so let's just say let's say
He does. He said so.
You don't think Ben Shapiro's a high value man?
let's take for do I think he is? I don't think he's a high value man.
But-
Wait,
so
what,
now
what
it
is
doesn't
his
make any sense.
definition? He owns his own business. Is like one of the most successful alt media platforms in the world. He's married.
Right.
He's fucking
You're wrong, Rollo. You're wrong, Rollo. But once again, you have your version of what a high value man is, but you don't want to state it, which makes no sense. You're saying that Ben Shapiro is not a high value man, but you don't want to state your version of what a high value man is. They got you in the corner, Rollo. You got to state your version of what a high value man is. This is going in circles because you don't want to put an end game to everything and state what a high value man is to you. But at the same time, you're saying Ben Shapiro is not a high value man.
and young
Can't make
sweetheart.
this shit up.
Right. You know who else is not a high value guy? Elon Musk. Let's see. Who else? Jeff Bezos. All you got to do is just go.
Part of the
All you
game.
have to do is look at the decisions they've made in their personal lives. Okay. How are we going to define that? If I'm going to define that by
You haven't. You're the only
We
one
have
here who
no
hasn't
idea.
defined it.
Yeah.
because
I
I'm
did
not
just
the
now.
one defining it for fucking Jeff Bezos. I'm not the one defining it for fucking what's his
It's like when
face?
Tina
Ben
said,
Shapiro.
Whale can think she's a 10 as long as that's how she defines beauty to herself. You're
Well,
like,
you guys just defined. You guys. Well, hold on. Wait, Sneako, you just defined Brandon Carter as a high value guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that fits
Shapiro
your
and Elon.
definition of a high value guy, but I will tell you right now that that would not fit the same definition that say Ben Shapiro would have for a high value guy, because he doesn't have his babies on point. He doesn't have this on point. He's not going to church or synagogue every day, right? So to him, he's not necessarily a high value guy.
I don't
So
think
it's what is
synagogue has to do with high value. That's like
because that's the way that other people would define it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Is that true?
it's not, value is not subjective. When we talk about value,
It's
we're
the
usually
market.
talking about some sort of exchange in a market.
No.
Value is usually what are people willing to do or give for a certain thing. It's not defined by this.
no,
If
he's
one
saying-
man is on an island with
You're
no
not
other
gonna
people,
get
there
it.
is no value.
No, this one over your head. It's the idea of being high value.
No, there is no idea of being high value. And if it was anybody else on the show, you guys would be roasting the fuck out of them for saying that's your
Yeah,
idea
you
of
would.
being high value. You would be roasted. If any of the girls come here, because you do this to girls all the time, so it goes right. They're like, I think I'm a 10. It's like, why? Because I'm so special and blah, blah, blah.
I
They
say
say,
you're not special.
I
I just gave you Brandon Carter as an example. I just gave you Brandon Carter. We can use any single example you want. You could.
Destiny's so right. I mean, Destiny and Sneako's on their A game. They're on their A game. I have to admit it. I mean, if you dislike Sneako and dislike Destiny, you can't deny the fact that they're on their A game against Myron, Fresh, and Rollo. If that was a girl who had her own version of what a high value woman is, they will be roasting the shit out of them. They'll probably even kick them out the show after she repeatedly says, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10. I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm a 10, I'm a 10. Excuse my language. Destiny is absolutely correct. And the obliteration of Rollo continues.
Be the 500-pound guy who just does esports, or can be like Brandon Carter or the top G.
Yep.
Any one of those guys. The thing still applies.
All right, look.
Are you better off? Are you better off without the obstructions? Are you better off without? Are you better off without the back?
Everyone here has kind of a different thing. Like me, I've defined it. This is what I think makes you high value. You might have a different take on it. You might, Rollo, you might have a different take on it. I've defined it, and then I took my interpretation off what you said. If you want to get these things, and it makes sense to me, those things that you listed. But I'm seeing here that everyone here kind of has a different interpretation.
wait, that's not true. All four of us probably roughly agree on what makes you high value.
No, we don't.
The three of us probably
Ben
do.
Shapiro said you said you have high value. I don't think it
Having
is.
like some amount of like physical fitness, we all agree that that's decently valuable, correct?
On some level, yeah.
Okay. Having some amount of like social status. So you've got the attention of a lot of people and you're influential. We all agree on that, right?
Mhm.
Having some amount of financial success, right? You have freedom to take care of your family, retire if you want to, even at an early age. We all agree with that, right?
Okay.
And having some level of success with your family and friends, right? We all roughly agree on that, right?
Okay.
If you have those four things in check, you're probably a high value man.
No, it's more than that. See, here's what he's saying. I can add more to it because for me, in my head, what high value is way more than that. To you, that might be important, but to me, it's not. That's not everything.
What's a key component missing from what I said?
Is a high value guy the guy that marries somebody from a foreign country and brings her over here so she can get citizenship? Because that's your family dynamic. My family dynamic is different than that. Does that make me high value or low value?
Exactly. It's going to depend on the person.
If I'm in a heterosexual marriage for 27 years and not in a polycule or some shit, like it's like some people will say you're high value because you do that. People will say, Rollo, you can't be red pill because you're married. Or you can't be married because you're red pill. Okay. And suddenly I'm blue pill because I am actually in a relationship where it's like close on her end, close on her end, and close on my end. But if I go and I talk to the top G, or I talk to somebody who's like in an open relationship, is that guy high value because of that? I'm not. This is not a judgment call. I'm just saying that the definition is going to be different, even if you have all those things. Even each one of those things that you just mentioned is still it's still subject to the context. I agree with what you said, Destiny. What I'm saying is that from within each one of those attributes, people are going to have something wildly different. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to use that for fucking blog fodder and topics to go and do quick hit videos on because they just want click through rate for something like that.
What would we say about women? If we say, what is a high value woman?
You tell me, man. It's like, again, this is the definition.
Bro, this is like your wheelhouse. This is your chance to steamroll.
I don't think you understand why fucking wheelhouse is. Quite honestly, I don't think you do.
Red pill shit. Isn't that what you do?
Your
so you
name
should
is
know,
the
like,
rational male.
Yeah, a high value woman is.
I don't talk about high value women, dude. In fact, if anything, I say there's no such thing as a quality woman because it's an ideal that guys have in their heads.
There's no such thing as a quality woman.
No such thing as a quality woman because guys have this. The quality woman is an ideal, but we can talk about that when I get there. But the thing is this is like when you're building a relationship or when you have this idea in your head. You want to know why guys get into so much fucking trouble in their marriages? It's because of that ideal. Because every guy who ever got married thought that she was the best fucking thing in the world. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got married to her. And then until he gets across the divorce table from her, now she's a fucking evil monster.
Best woman ever. You genuinely don't think that there's quality women in the world?
I think that there are women who have different attributes than others that match very well with guys. Sure, there are good clicks, of course. But the thing is like the idea of the quality woman is an ideal that guys have that gets them into a lot of trouble. That's why they're in love with the ideal, not the actual person.
So
That's
there are
why
high value men, but there aren't high value women.
I'm not saying that I said there aren't high value men and there aren't high value women. Okay, it just depends on who we're talking about.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about, bro.
Within the context.
I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
Rollo. So you have no idea. You have no characteristics of what makes a high value woman or a high value man. There's no version that you go with. So you have no version of what a high value woman is or what a high value man is. That you have none. You're just telling people go out and make your own version of what an ideal woman or man is. Obviously, what a high value man is, because that's what you're preaching about. You're not dealing with what a high value woman is, but that's why Destiny and Sneako was like, what are you talking about? Because you can't even come up with your own perception of what a high value woman or a high value man is. You have no ground to stand on. You're not standing on any hill because you refuse to take a stance on anything because you're not listing what your interpretation of what a high value man is. This conversation is getting really repetitive because you're not standing on any ground. And I'm getting annoyed now because now it's like, what's the point of watching the rest of this conversation?
I get what he's saying, but
I feel like I need to do mushrooms before I come on the show. That's what it feels like, the kind of conversation
We
we're
are
having
at
right now.
No, you know what it is, Destiny, is you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's why.
On any of this, and I'm surprised because you write about this all the time. You wrote a whole book about it. People they really respect it, and I have no idea.
You guys might be confused because I'm the one that says there's no such thing as a high value woman. A woman that's a woman gets her value directly from a man that she gets in a relationship with, because all women have value, but not all men have value.
All women don't have the same value.
Well,
don't even think about it. You know that's not true. If I give you a woman with 100 bodies and a woman with 0 bodies, if I give you one that's 500 pounds, if I give you one with 5 kids, so
here's
yeah.
my thing. Okay, here's my thing.
So a woman with no bodies is not a high value woman. That's what you guys always preach about. You're more valued when you have no bodies and you're willing to submit to a man. That makes you a high value woman. So now you're stating that woman has no value. This can be the end or be all of the Fresh and Fit podcast and Rollo, because now you guys are making no sense. I have to admit that you guys are making no sense. Now when you guys make another podcast and talk about high value this, high value that, I'm going to be like, can we watch the podcast when you have Rollo and Destiny and Sneako on? What you guys were preaching about? Because now when a woman comes, and let it be a smart woman, a woman with a backbone, let it be a version of a Candace Owens that comes to your show, she will obliterate you guys. Obliterate.
I've said this before.
I know men must become and women are. I know you're about to do this speech.
No,
but I'm just saying there are some women that are better than others.
I wasn't going to say that. Of course, of course. But all women have value to some level, but not all men have value because men have to build their shit up. So what I'm saying is that a high value woman
not even true.
A high value woman gets her value from being with a high value man.
I don't even think that's true. All men have value to some extent.
The metric of success for a female is being able to get the best man that they can get.
And men can build and do things. In places like China, where you're limited to the amount of children, what do? They opt for boys because they can go out and work and fucking get jobs and shit and do things around the fucking house or whatever, right?
Yeah, in the fucking 1980s. The one child policy hasn't been around since the mid '90s, dude.
Sure, but when it was grossly favoring the birth of boys because you could do more with boys than you could with women. Just the idea that like
At least that was the perception until now they're facing the consequences of that.
Well, so is Japan. That's a super homogenous.
That's
blah,
one
blah, blah,
situation. Okay, you're using China, but let's be honest here. Why does it say women and children off the boat first, and not men? Women have always had. No, yeah, it's a chivalry thing. But why is that? Because if you have 100 women and one guy, you can still continue society. But if you have 100 men and one woman, we're fucked.
Women are the vulnerable sex, and men are the disposable sex. That's why
women have value inherently. So what I'm saying is this: since every woman has value, for a woman to be high value, she's got to be able to lock down a high value guy. There's a reason why women take a man's last name and not the other way around. Women, when they meet each other and hug, the first thing they ask typically is, "Oh, do you have a man? Do you have a relationship? Tell me about your kids, etc." When two men meet, what do? Shake hands. What do you do for a living? Men are judged on creating value. Women are judged on creating children, typically. Now, are there some women out there that chase success and making money, whatever? Sure, but that is not the main goal of a female. The main goal of a female from a biological sense is to procreate. For a woman to procreate, she's got to be with a man. Typically, they want the best guy. For a man to procreate, he's got to create excess resources to be able to attract that woman. So what we bring to the table is different. And what I would argue...
I don't disagree with any of that, but there are high-value women, and there probably are high-value men.
I think a woman's only high-value if she could lock down a high-value guy. That's my take on it.
Well, at least you have a definition for it.
That's my definition on it. Which, again,
I love what Destiny threw out there. Did you guys catch that? Destiny was like, at least you have a version of what a high-value woman is. Rollo doesn't have a definition of what a high-value woman is or what a high-value man is. He has no definition to none. And that's why they can't reach an agreement or disagreement or basically an agreement to disagree, because Rollo is not standing on anything. You see, that's what Myron missed when Destiny said that. Destiny is saying, at least you have your version. But this man, this rational male, has no version. So we can't reach any type of understanding to what his tweet and what everything he preaches about. It doesn't apply. There's no... You guys may have to watch this to the end on your own, because I'm getting frustrated and I'm not even involved in the conversation. I'm watching it.
All of us here at the table have different opinions, which is great. But that's my take on it. Like with a high value man, a high value woman.
No. I mean, what you want me to say is a woman who has a low body count, who is a girl from the Amish Dutch country in Pennsylvania, who's never known another man, doesn't have any social media. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go with this, but again, it's those are ideals. Okay,
yeah, the other ideals are important because ideals are what we strive for. An ideal is the whole.
And those ideals are also what lead us astray, which is why this list is fucking useful. That's why.
Lead us astray. Ideals lead you into a better life. That's the whole point of an ideal. It's the best version of yourself. You're never going to be the best version of yourself, but the path to being the best version of yourself.
Every guy who ever thought he found his fucking soulmate, who ended up on the opposite side of the fucking divorce table from her, had a fucking ideal about that woman.
Sure, and every man that dies happily surrounded by his family, who had a long...
Oh, yes, I know. The pastoral scene with everybody fought, well, yeah, we're surrounded by his family. You know what? You know that like 90% of the population of the United States doesn't die like that. They actually die in assisted living, and nobody knows about it until the next morning.
Okay, as opposed to you, who was tweeting about dying in his motorbike in an accident. Okay, dude.
You said you wanted to black
metal. That is a fucking
Slayer.
Con fantasy.
Let me hit these chats real fast.
And we got another show coming up.
Yeah, we got another show coming up. I'm gonna go through this real fast. All right, so we got Kid Blue RB goes, Rollo dodging the defining a high value man is like the LGBT dodging what a woman is. Feels like I'm watching Matt Walsh's documentary right now. You're the grandmaster of RP. You out of all people should be able to define what a high value man is.
He can't define high value male.
Exactly. Kid Blue RB27. Thank you, because Rollo, like, you are making yourself look so ridiculous. Listen, I'm done. Rollo, you make absolutely no sense. You got obliterated in this debate. I see no further use of finishing this podcast, you made absolutely no sense. I believe Sneako and Destiny, no matter how you think, no matter what you think of them, how silly they are to you, they obliterated you. And that should even be more of embarrassment in your part, that you allowed two clowns to obliterate you. So I believe you should take the L and take the L respectively. You know what I mean? Because you stood on no ground whatsoever. And that tweet is the best way to end my podcast. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think. This is Black Shy Guy, and as always, thank you for sitting at my table. I'm back after my break. Thank you for waiting for me patiently, for all those who stood by. I'm out of here. Peace!
Arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim of a suicidal maniac.